Hey, welcome back to DieCash Cars. So today, guys, I thought I'd do something a little bit different. I pulled the trigger on one of these Amazon 50 count boxes. I felt like it would just be a good comparison versus the Amazon 16 count black boxes. And then also, while I'm doing this, I wanted to talk about a topic from a collector side of things, collector competition. So let's dive right into this box just to start us off. So again, 50 count boxes, if you guys don't know, you can go on Amazon.com right now. These 50 count cases currently right now sell for around like $63. But what's cool is that you do get a pretty good variety of some of the newer cars out there, newer releases. And to be perfectly honest, they are a lot further ahead than the black boxes. So I did do a little bit of a pre-screening on these 50 cars, and they are all in that D, E, and F case. Which, in all honesty, I know a lot of stores around me haven't even gotten past D case yet. So I'll just pull out these cars out of the case, give you guys a quick visual, ASMR style, and then I will be kind of talking about our topic today, collector competition. Again, I feel like it's a topic that as collectors, we don't talk about it too much. It's kind of on the DL, on the down low. We, if anything, would probably like to not think about the competition, right? Because we just want to leisurely go to the pegs at all the stores and find all the cool stuff, but we know that's not the case. So let's categorize those collectors in our areas. And I guess the way I see it, there's two types of collectors out there. There's the nice and friendly type of collector that is willing to help the fellow collectors. You know, they're willing to share what they find, you know, especially when other collectors show up the same time they do. They're willing to help peg cars on the pegs. They're nice and polite to all of the employees at the stores and all the different stockers. I know in my area there's some really good dudes, and the store employees like them so much that they're on like call lists. So essentially every time that they get new cars in stores, new Hot Wheels, new die-casts, they're on this phone call list where they'll get called, notified, being told that there's new cars in stock. They should come check it out before anybody else does. And I've seen this take place at Walmarts and Targets, Dollar Trees. I mean, I'm sure there's other stores. I've personally been on a couple of lists, but to be perfectly honest, I don't get the call back. So I must not be very well liked. No, I'm just kidding. I don't think it's that I'm not well liked. I think it's just the fact that I think there's other collectors that, in all honesty, already have first dibs on things. So yeah, there's the nice and friendly collectors, and then there's some of the bad eggs in your town, right? These are the very pushy, very bossy collectors who will muscle their way into the stores. They'll boss around the employees. They'll get their way. They'll pretty much throw a fit, talk to managers, you know, get what they want, get the box of Hot Wheels or premiums or whatever it may be, dig through it, cherry pick what they want, and they'll be off on their way. And then I guess you could say there is a casual collector as well too. You know, maybe they're not really as diehard when it comes to Hot Wheels. They're more so just out there looking for a Hot Wheel that is reminiscent of cars that they like in real life, and if they so happen to find it, they'll pick it up. If not, no big deal. So I mean, there's plenty of collectors out there, and obviously age groups play a role, and you know, if they're resellers or if they have massive collections that they're looking to add to, or you know, as of late, I think we can all agree that there's a lot of new collectors coming into this space as well too. So from a volume standpoint, there are plenty of collectors, and everybody's kind of got their MO as far as what they collect and why they collect. Now let's talk about the tactic of being a Hot Wheel collector. And from a competition side of things, I mean, what I've seen from collectors in my area specifically is, I mean, there are some really diehard collectors to where at 8 a.m., I know exactly where they all are. They're standing outside a Target, waiting to get in, hoping that the pegs are fresh and they can cherry pick everything, pretty much clean house, and a lot of times those are typically the collectors that are resellers. I'll see them setting up tables at the next local Hot Wheels meet and selling cars, you know, somewhat reasonable for secondary price, but nonetheless marked up $1 or $2 from what they are retail. So showing up early before the store even opens is a pretty tried and true tactic. I mean, when I had more time and when I actually had to go into work and be physically there in the office, I would always swing by Target in the morning. I work from home now, so I don't even venture outside of my quarters that often. But I mean, it's definitely a successful tactic to just be there at store open. On the flip side of that, I mean, it's also beneficial to be at the stores right before it closes, right? So Walmart in particular, I mean, that's typically when they pull out the pallets of all the new inventory and get ready to stock it overnight. Another very aggressive tactic that I've seen from collectors is that when store employees and stockers give them a hard time, they'll offer to buy the whole entire stock or the whole entire inventory, right? So, you know, if they know that there's a new fresh case in the back, well, they'll offer to buy the whole box. Or if there's a new display that needs to come out, right? Like for Kroger's, you know, they usually get like a little kickstand, floor stand display. I mean, I've seen collectors just straight up buy the whole display, and it seems to be the only way that stores and stockers would even bring out fresh inventory. So, I mean, that's pretty aggressive, but I've seen it done. I mean, it's kind of extreme, to be honest, just because it's a lot of money just for the chance to get a super treasure hunt. I know a lot of collectors, they have a lot of time somehow. I don't know how in this day and age some folks have so much time, but I know within a 50-mile radius, they have eyes and ears on every Walmart, Target, Kroger, every store that carries Hot Wheels. They have an eye out to see if they have new inventory. They're able to hit up all of those stores at least once or twice a week, which again is a lot of driving, but a lot of people are very determined to get the latest and greatest, and in all honesty, more power to them. I know there's some collectors where their tactic is just being affiliated with store owners, managers, employees, the stockers, and a lot of times I know that they have relatives or friends or family that work in certain stores that give them the edge, give them the intel to say, yes, we have new stock, you should come and check it out, or you know, just wait by the back doors and I'll slip you a box and you can rifle through it. I know there's one collector in my area, he's a little bit on the more aggressive side, and I know he has family members that work at our local Walmart, and needless to say, he gets a lot of first dibs on a lot of things. And then another tactic that I've seen is just being a risk taker. So there are some very extreme collectors in my area where I know it's been kind of broadcasted, you know, kind of local news, is that they've been caught walking through the back rooms, Walmart, Target, Dollar Generals, and basically opening up boxes in the back. I mean, who knows how long they've been doing this before they finally got caught, but I mean, it gets pretty chippy out there, guys. I mean, folks are willing to go through a lot of hoops in order to get new cars and obviously hunt for super treasure hunts and the latest premiums. So needless to say, guys, the competition of Hot Wheel collecting is very high, very strong. I mean, you almost have to ask yourself, are you in the right hobby? Are you willing to compete with all the folks in this hobby that are very diehard, maybe more diehard than you are, right? But I will say this, the biggest competition in this hobby is yourself. And what I mean by that, guys, and it's not a negative way, but it's basically saying if you're not happy with what you're finding out there, I would challenge you to step up your game, ask yourself the question, what could you do differently, right? So let's say you hunt every day at 9 o'clock. Well, how could you switch it up so that maybe a couple of times a week you can be out there at 8 a.m., right? You know, if you're hunting in the morning, maybe you can hunt at night, or maybe you hunt primarily in this area of your town. Maybe you need to go to the opposite end of the town. You know, maybe you're a regular at Walmart, and maybe you need to somehow fit Target into your routine every day. So I think there's a lot of different ways that collectors can change things up. I mean, if it's not working one way, I think there's always a plan B in order to find Hot Wheels. Like, I'll give you guys my little secret here. So I am very slow when it comes to hunting, purely just because I don't have the time to hunt like I used to anymore. So I don't even bother with Walmarts and Targets. But where I typically go and where I have the most success is hunting at Dollar Trees, especially in smaller towns that kind of encompass the more busier areas of town. And I seem to do a lot better at Dollar Trees in smaller surrounding areas than the larger portion of the city where Walmarts and Targets and Kroger's are more prevalent. Another tip I'll give you guys is to work in teams. So build yourself a wolf pack, for lack of better terms, right? So I know me in particular, I work with a group of local buddies, and we always give each other tips, eyes and ears on what's hitting, what we're seeing. You know, maybe I go to Kroger and I see a lot of stock, and I say, hey, go check your Kroger's on your side of town, or whatnot. So again, having that wolf pack, you know, is beneficial. I mean, you're definitely stronger in numbers. And my last tip for you guys is you gotta be okay with the idea of buy, sell, trade, and being a hustler in a sense, guys. And again, not in a negative way, but when it comes to Hot Wheels and collecting, I mean, collecting anything really, you have to look for ways to get what you want with what you have, right? And again, it goes back to that DieCash mentality where maybe I have a bunch of sought after Hondas and I need to somehow turn those Hondas into Toyotas or whatever the cool casting might be at the time, right? So you got to be open to buying, selling, and trading, working with other collectors, you know, whether it's online or local, in person. I mean, it helps to even build connections. I mean, maybe that's how you build your wolf pack. So definitely don't shy away from bargaining and trading up. And that's where what I talk a lot about on this channel, just knowing the values of the cars in your collection. You can use those as leverage to build your collection, right? So Hot Wheel investing, I mean, that's what I preach on this channel every day. The biggest competition out there really is yourself. And sometimes if you want that awesome Hot Wheel collection, you got to push yourself. I mean, within your own means. Obviously, I'm not telling you to be a risk taker and just jump right into the back room, but you know, work within your own means, work within your own local area, work with your collectors. I mean, I would advise you to be the friendly collector, not the bully of a collector. Just be kind to those around you. And in all honesty, I think these cars will come to you. It's a lot like you guys see with me. Again, I don't hunt a lot. I mean, it's been about a month since I put out a hunting video or found anything good, but I'm still able to find a lot of the new stuff. Again, using the resources that are out there. Amazon is a great place, eBay, Facebook. I mean, you name it. There's more than one way to get the collection and build a collection that you want. But that's what I wanted to say about collector competition. Just wrapping up this Amazon box. Again, you guys see that it is a pretty good assortment. I would say that you would never find a super treasure hunt in these boxes, but again, if you're just looking for main lines and short cards at that, you can't beat these 50 count boxes from Amazon. The other cool thing is that you do get a good assortment from a number of cases. So essentially what I see here is cases D, E, and F. I mean, these are essentially the main lines of the super treasure hunts for those cases. So the main lines essentially follow that. And I mean, I would say that these are the highlights from a mainline standpoint right here. I mean, you got this New model for 2023, essentially a remake of the Porsche 911 Carrera RS 2.7. You got the Audi Quattro in this race livery here. You got the Gold Liberty Walk S15, this Tri 5 tier 55 Bel Air gasser. I know this is very popular cast right now. The DMC DeLorean in this ice blue color, and then you got that recolor of the Pininfarina Battista. So all in all, not a bad 50 pack. But let me know your thoughts in the comments below, whether it be about collector competition or this 50 count box. But as always, like, subscribe, and I'll see you guys next time on DieCash Cars.